How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Monday so far. Just want to dive into a few trades from today, and yeah, let's just get right into it here. So ENZC was one of my top watches, and I did say that this has overhead resistance, as you can see up in here. So I did want to take a quick snipe on it, and I completely kind of just like forgot all about that. I had just a few different tickers on my mind, and I was just thinking a little too much. Completely forgot about it, and was really trying to work on like my swing kind of mentality. Not really swing, but like I didn't want to just sell all at once and then have it run like another 30% in the day, and I just missed like the other 30%. I wanted to take some shares. Let me just dive right into this. I'll explain it better as I'm doing this here. So I know I have a lot of lines here, but give you an idea. So just nice trend, just putting some trend lines in. You can see once it broke above out of trend here on some volume. I let it break out right away, and was really just waiting for that first big pullback. And I actually took, I'm not too proud of my fills here and how I got my fills, but and nonetheless, they ended up being pretty good fills. Let's see. So I got like 1,000 shares here at 3, just in case for some odd reason 3 held, which is basically the breakout level. It just spiked too much. It needed more of a pullback. 29 is what I kind of had in mind as a support level. From yesterday's high. So I had already like kind of put my stop in towards 29, or at least not my stop, but I had my stop at 29, but I had my risk reward to where how much money I was willing to risk when I bought here at 3 was to risk off of 29. And then I took some more at 29.5, 29.3, and 29.11. So besides this fill up here, the fills down here were actually pretty spot on, and I sold half at 31.6 and just kind of let the other half ride, and it was looking really good in the morning until we got kind of this hard crack, and it just failed to break and perk back up above VWAP. And once we got another crack here, I sold another quarter here, and then kind of just let the other quarter ride to see if we can get some kind of momentum and push back above VWAP, and this could still be in play. But I ended up just stopping out. I had my stop at 29.4 with my last shares here at 29.11, and ended up getting filled at 29.1. So kind of it's just a small win. I'm happy with the initial sell half here near high of day, and then I liked the idea of letting it kind of work out. Like this was a failed breakout and I still made money, so it's a win-win. That's a win for me. So I like the mentality of being able to sell and do like the nice parabolic move, sell half, and then let the other half kind of ride and see if we can play out and get a multi-day run out of this. But yeah, I should have just sold it all up here in the morning. Because in my watch list, I did say that, it has overhead resistance. I just want to take my quick snipe on it. So kind of botched that one. But nice to know back in hindsight. RSHN was another one I was watching. And I completely missed it this morning. I really missed my buy here at 63 when it broke above high of day. First thing in the morning. As you can see. So I kind of had this almost like the same thing as, oh boy, I'm so blanking, ENZC, I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. So almost the same thing. It's kind of like that flag kind of pattern, and once it's either going to crack underneath or it's going to perk above. So we already got the gap in the morning, and it was just failing to break down. Put in that little double bottom, and we were just breaking past high of day, and I saw that as, okay, we're going to buy here at 62, 63, and we're going to risk off 57, 58, and was just super into ENZC, and completely stopped watching this, and this was just beautiful. This was a really nice play. This is how I wanted ENZC to play out. Yeah, really nice. Pretty good price action for the sub penny there. So usually sub pennies have that kind of blocky kind of chart to it, which I don't like. Phil was another one I actually traded today. I bought the penny break here, super small size. I just wasn't really liking it too much, and I was just a little uneasy about it. And I really don't know what it is. I think it's just because it's a sub penny, and just so it kind of just trades in little blocks like this. I'm just not a huge fan of it, and so I did give it a little try here. I got a really small amount of shares here, and let it do its thing. And this crack almost stopped me out, and I just sold into the bounce because I actually tried to add here at 97, 96, and didn't get a fill. And I saw some guys saying like, oh, this is, this most likely just like the bounce is going to fail and it's going to like wash out and yada yada. And I was already a little iffy about it, so I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to cut it. So I ended up just cutting it for break even on the bounce, so no big deal on that one. But just kind of the same thing, that multi-day breakout kind of pattern. I feel like this one kind of just came too much too soon, and so I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of it, but was willing to give it a shot. And then HTZGQ is the other one I was swinging. Okay, so the sell here is why I wanted to swing a little bit more and be more patient with my ENZC shares, even though I should have reread my goddamn watch list and saw that it said just take the frickin' snipe on it. So ENZC, Jesus Christ, HTZ, been swinging this a few days since this day here. Was in at 670, and today we got the nice gap, and I sold it right away, basically 745. My target was 750-ish, and I knew that was probably going to be I knew I was going to pike it to where I'm just selling it way too soon, that it can move more than just, if this is the breakout 730, I expected to do basically what it did today. It touched 780. That's more should have been my sell target instead of the 750, especially since it held up in the morning and had that really nice like ABCD higher low with a hard top at 750. There's higher lows, grinds, the consolidation gets really tight right here towards high of day. We get some volume coming in, we get the high of day break, and we get the move. So a little bit more patience there is really what kind of killed me and made me want to be a little bit more patient with ENZC, even though I should have just taken the snipe. Yeah, RSHN would have been a better, because see how this has no overhead resistance. It does if you go back to like the 3-year. Yeah, so the 3-year, it's also the breakout in here at over 8 is the 3-year breakout as well. Other than that, zero overhead resistance. And the volume is way more, recent than it was back then. So this should have been more top watch than ENZC. See, this had too much overhead resistance. It's not going to bounce too much. It tried. It did have nice volume in the morning, but just got stuffed. It's just all the bag holders and short sellers. There was no way they were letting this run any farther than what it did. So, but when it comes to like knowing if you should just take your quick snipe on something, maybe try to swing some shares, or and let it ride. Just really look at the previous history and see if it's got any overhead resistance. If it's got a bunch of overhead like this does, you're probably best just taking your snipe. And if it looks more like RSHN, this is an ideal chart to want to swing a little bit longer instead of just taking your quick snipe, because there's just no overhead resistance, solid volume. The only thing I didn't like about this is that it was a sub penny, but it's traded good volume to where it's not just in blocks and kind of just chopping around. It's actually trading with some good price action. So yeah, this was a nice one that I'm pretty pissed that I missed. So FBCD, last one. Just kind of want to dive into this. It was on watch because it broke out on Friday, and then today it just looks like it just consolidated. It did gap down a little bit and just failed to break down. Really was just kind of watching it all day. And zoom out, there we go. Yeah, kind of to put in a kind of a bottom there at 26, and then we got a perk. You know, we tested green red for a minute, and then just kind of held and made a higher low. And so I got a really small size here at 29. Just risking 28, as you can, I guess you can see my stops in already. Super small size. Just want to see if this fails to break down, we can get some kind of push and continue to break out tomorrow. And if we do continue to break out, I will be looking to add some shares in the morning, depending on how this plays out. See, like there's zero overhead resistance. I really like the no overhead. That makes me a lot more comfortable with wanting to trade this. So no overhead resistance. It tried to break out. We got a nice consolidation day here. Just failed to break down. So I got a small size, small piece, just overnight, looking to see if we can get any kind of gap up and push back towards the breakout level. And then yeah, we'll see how that plays out. It's not ideal. It's really not ideal. Ideally, I would just sit on my hands and wait for confirmation in the morning. That's the most ideal thing I can say. Yeah, this holding it overnight, not ideal. It's FOMO, I guess I'd say. So if I could say one thing, it's just wait for confirmation. And the only thing I can see getting in early is just like the ones I kind of just showed you, with these multi-day breakouts, to where kind of just getting in, you know, it makes the high, it's making these higher lows. You kind of see where, and then it perks out of the trend, and you can take a small starter here in the morning, risking, you know, red to green, green red, and then just kind of ride it out, you know. I mean, it's, and then that way if you're wrong and the breakout fails, you're in down here instead of buying the actual break. I always get fucked up by buying the break and then have some choppiness or some BS and I get stopped out or something stupid like that. So I'm trying to work on getting in a little earlier on these breakouts and kind of just letting them work for me. And just like, you know, with ENZC, I know I'm just gonna go over these over and over again, but this was a failed breakout, and because of how good my entry was, I even let this break out too, and then just bought the dip underneath the breakout level. I wasn't able to catch it early in the move before it had even broken out. But to be in down here, you know, I mean, super ideal entry. You could risk the bottom, you could risk red to green, and then you got green to red, and just let it ride. So that's just my 2 cents for today. A little bit of over trading. I want to dial that back a little bit, but markets are hot, and I'm trying to take advantage. So I just gotta keep grinding, keep getting better every day. And so yeah, that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys later.